I want to this morning invite our mission team to come on up here, make a spot if you want to share. If you have a testimony, something that you want to share, we would invite you to do that. I'm going to say a couple things, and then you won't have to hear so much from me. You'll get to hear from them. One of the themes, the theme for our mission trip is the theme that is on the back of the shirts here, and that is faithful. That's what we have desired to extend. And we even had a scripture verse that we counted on, and it was, "The end of things is near. Therefore be alert and of sober mind, so that you may pray. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers a multitude of sins. Offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. If anyone speaks, they should do so as one who speaks the very words of God. If anyone serves, they should do so with the strength God provides, so that in all things God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen." 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7 through 11. That was the theme that we left with. And so we headed out, some early, left on Sunday. They took off, and all the rest of them were coming from different parts. We all arrived there, got there Sunday night, and we were ready to go. And in that, let me say this, was this email that we get from Ben's assistant who says, "Oh, by the way, we've made hurricane preparations. Don't worry. We think it's going to be fine." Well, I grew up in El Paso. I didn't even know how to spell hurricane. Hurricane preparations. And then we began to, well, what does that mean? How are we going to do? We think it's going to be fine. And Cindy had a great line that we were texting. She goes, "Well, they live there. I think they probably know best." And I was like, well, that's probably true. They probably do. And sure enough, though, that hurricane came and brought wind and weather to it, we had nothing. And so we started the week off worried about Burl, and then Burl was nothing for us. We know it was for other folks, for sure. And we just jumped in and we began to work. And so I want to do a couple things. I want to give all of them that went on the trip an opportunity to share. I'll wrap up a few things, but I just want to say I am so thankful, church, for your generosity enabled us to go. This is a smaller team than it normally is, but it was, man, we were a highly efficient team. The work got done. No stone was left unturned, and if somebody needed something, they just jumped in and did it, no questions asked, and it was great. And so thank you, church, for your generosity. It enables us not only to go, to bring gifts to the parents, to the homes, to help the commissary that is there. Found out they had some needs while we were there, and we were able to go, well, let's just go to the store and take care of them, and open the back of the truck, the truck, and there was it was laundry soap, and we had laundry soap, and they said, "Oh, this kind is gold." And I've never thought of laundry soap as gold, but I've never tried to do laundry for 42 different houses and all that kind of stuff. So your generosity, the generosity of faithful folks of this church who have provided for the ministry needs, made all of that possible. And so I have more to say, but I want to let them share testimonies. Michelle will be sharing pictures that you can see here in the auditorium. If you're online, you will be able to hear and see the folks sharing the testimonies, but you won't be able to share, you won't be able to see the pictures. There's security reasons and that we can't do that. And so, but we do want you to hear the testimonies of that. And so she'll be putting up pictures as they share.
Okay, like Gerald said, thank y'all again for the financial support and the prayers. Scott showed me a list of all the kids a name of all the kids that were there on campus, and he did that for Jackie. She prays for everyone by name and for us. So thank you, Jackie, and I know many of y'all are doing that as well. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Micah. because y'all know Mike. You can see Mike in the picture up there. It's amazing to see how he is with the kids. I was very proud of him, and that's, thanks to y'all for, raising him and praying for him. So he's doing good work over there. So it was great to see him, how he connected with the kids and how much they love him. And then I had one more story. I heard Miss Melissa talking with one of the parents over there, and he was thanking all of us, one by one, for all that we do. And Melissa told him, "Oh, I don't do anything. I have a lot of help here, people that take care of all this stuff." And luckily I heard, and I jumped in and I said, I told him, Melissa pretty much heads the VBS. This wouldn't happen without her. Yeah, so it kind of got onto her a little bit. She doesn't give herself enough credit. So thank you, Melissa, for, the VBS and all you do for our kids here. Same with Scott. Youth wouldn't happen without Scott up there. Cindy and my mom head in the cooking. They fed us well. I always come back expanded. And Michelle, she does the women's, the mom's ministry. I never get to see that, so I'm sure she can tell you more about that, but I know that's important. They drop the kids off to VBS so that they can go and do that. And then, thank you, Gerald. He leads our whole group up there, and this wouldn't happen without him either. So I think that's all I have. You got anything?
No. You want to share anything from the house? You want to share? No? Okay. Yes, going off of what Angel said, thank you to everybody who helps us to go over there. In Christ, there is many parts of the body, and every single one of them is just as important as the other. And we appreciate y'all letting us to get to go over there and not really have to worry about food or cleaning or dishes. Those are like great things to not worry about when you get older. And every time we go over there, I see the little church where it has like the chapel. Yes, it has a big old spike, and every time I see that, I'm just like, wow, we're home again. It's like our second home over there, and we just really enjoy being over there with the kids. And it does take some planning, some days off, some a little bit of work, but it is so well worth it. And it's a feeling that you just can't really describe. You just have to just do it, and then you'll know like the feeling. I guess it's not something I can really explain, but we just love being there. And this was the first year that Madi was able to go and be in the girls' room. So she was in a bunk this year, so she enjoyed that, not having to sleep with mom and dad. And we just love all of the kids over there. By the end of the week, we pretty much know all of their names. We've seen them, some of them year after year, and we just enjoy getting to know them. They're such great kids. They're super funny, and we just really enjoy it. Thank you all again. Thank you for all of the team that helps out too. Gerald, Scott, everybody that Angel named. Y'all are just so important. This whole church is just really so important to our lives, and we appreciate each and every one of you.
So I went down for a work trip, to try to help them out for a project, but the hurricane had different plans on that. They didn't want to make any plans not being certain with what was coming. Our first day we got there and went with Cindy to go get some groceries, and we get outside, and I said, man, it sure is muggy. And she says, well, at least it's not raining. Letty did, and that's whenever the bottom decided to drop out of it. 2 seconds later, by the time we got everything loaded in the trucks and in the vehicle, we didn't have a dry stitch on us. That was our start off of our week. We went down there, like I said, there wasn't a work project, so my personal thing was I tried to jump in where I could. I cooked some macaroni and cheese one day, and nobody died, so that was a plus. Yeah, we cooked the burgers on Wednesday. It was definitely hot out there. You know, it humid and hot. You know, even though we were under the tree, it was tough. So, and then, you know, I did a little bit with the kids, and you saw them coloring the little backpacks, and I was going around asking them what color they were going to color their starfish or their coral, or I went to one little girl and asked her, I was like, well, what color are you going to color the legs of that jellyfish? And she said, she was quick to let me know, jellyfish don't have legs. Those are called tentacles. She was about 5 years old, so she taught me, you know, she made sure that I knew. But all in all, it was a good week. We had missed most of the rain. We had a couple little rain showers, but only one we really got drenched in. And it went real well.
So I have a specific story about one of the kids. We'll call him Jay. This kid, I met him last year, and he's got a little bit of an attitude sometimes. And one morning we were doing another of the projects, and he was just struggling. He didn't know what color to choose. He couldn't color correctly. He was just being down on himself, you know, just like, I can't do this today. Like, he was just not having a good day. So that evening we were on grandparent duty watching the kids while the other kids went to youth group, and he was out there at the basketball court. We started playing Frisbee with him, throwing a ball back and forth. He had a few conversations with Tony. And, you know, just in passing, it was really nothing. And so the next morning I'm walking down to VBS. I always stayed back and helped with the dishes, and then ended up going a little bit later. And he was running behind. He ran up to me, and he's walking with me. He's like, what are we doing today? I said, well, today's going to be a quick day. It's our last day here. And he's like, do y'all have to leave today? And I'm like, yeah, you know, it's Friday. And he's like, I really love when y'all come. To me, you know, I really didn't think sometimes when you're over there and you're coloring and you're, you know, just throwing, tossing Frisbee, it doesn't seem like a lot. But it is to them. And I said, well, you know, we'll be back next year. And he said, well, I don't know if I'll be here. I might be going to my forever home. And that kind of hit me too, because I'm like, these kids struggle. You know, you don't know what they're dealing with when we're coloring with them, when we're singing with them and dancing with them. We don't know what they struggle with. So hopefully we don't see him next year. Hopefully he'll have his forever home. So it kind of made me feel a little bit, you know, like it does mean something to them. So I wasn't going to cry, but so, yeah. So, Cindy.
Letty made me cry now. I don't know if I can talk. I just, first I want to thank Letty, because she did a lot of work. She texted me several weeks ago and asked to be more involved in the planning of the meals for our group, and I was like, yes, please. She did like green chili chicken enchilada casserole, which was awesome. And these desserts, you know, that she made were banana pudding, sopapilla cheesecake, tres leches cake. They were all really, really good. But I have to say thank you to her for for helping me with that. So it took some burden off of me when she helped. And she always seemed to manage to make it to the kitchen before I did in the morning. I was trying really hard to get there, but she always seemed to make it before I did. But I appreciate her frying bacon, you know, sausage and all that fun stuff. And when, I got the email from Ben's assistant about the hurricane, of course, I had been watching it, and I sent it to Gerald, and he didn't even know there was a hurricane. And I was like, do you not look at the weather before you go travel somewhere? You know, like, it's just kind of normal in my head. But, you know, but anyway, there was some concern there, but it was fine, and y'all, I know y'all prayed for us concerning that, and I really wanted the hurricane just to go away, but of course it didn't. It did hit, El Campo, I think is what it was, hit El Campo, and they do have some pretty major damage there, but so y'all continue to pray for that community. But I do want to say that when we were leaving on Friday, packing up I was outside packing the truck, and the guy next door to the Ethel Cottage there that we stay in backed out in his van and pulled up, and he said, "Thank y'all for coming." He said, "We always look forward to y'all coming. Y'all are the highlight of our summer." So he said, "You'll be back next year, right?" And I said, "Yes, I believe we will be." So, if you haven't got to go, I would like to encourage you to go. It's exhausting, but it is so rewarding. And we are more rewarded, I think, than, we're going down there to try to help them out, but we come away with more blessings.
So I'm in the same boat as as Tony, because I thought there was going to be a work project, but there ended up not being a work project, which is fine. I'm just glad that I was able to be helpful. The first day we got there, Scott told me, "So you're going to be our tech guy, right?" I said, "Sure thing, I'll do it." So I did run the slides, I did run the sound, I did help with getting groceries in the rain. We all got wet, and I told them, I said, "Well, we might as well just accept being wet." So I was just glad to be there. I was glad to help. I was glad that I was able to be helpful. Yeah.
I'm grateful for Caleb, because I could just say buddy video and he would play it. I didn't have to worry about it, didn't have to worry about him. And then sometimes I wouldn't even say I'm going to do the Bible verse, and I would look up there and it'd be there. He just read my mind, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Caleb. The word that comes to my mind when we go to Stitch is family. It's like you're going to a family reunion, and people that are there, that have been there, some that have left and come back. And one of the blessings, and it's hard to tell them a different, because they treat those interns, all those children are treated the same. They get disciplined the same, whether you're a house parent's kid or whether you're a Stitch kid. And so it's hard to tell which are which. But just because we've gone so many years, we recognize them, and we've known them since they were little babies in our arms to now third, fourth, and little children. And so there's many of those. So that is so much fun to go and see those families. Some of the house parents have moved on, but there's many that are still there. And so it's just kind of like a mini family reunion to get to see those people, and to bond with our church family even more. That's one of the blessings of getting to go. And like Cindy said, consider going. It's just you bond with everybody. You find out things you probably didn't want to find out, but it's a lot of fun to know it. And so, all those things that you learn and that you find out. So, and the food, like Angel said, expansion of the food. The food, Cindy and Letty knocked it out of the ballpark, and we ate like kings and queens, and never, like Melinda said, never touched a dish, never touched anything, just, maybe threw a plate away. I think that was about all I ever did. So made sure there was coffee. That was always a blessing. So, and then I cannot say thank you enough to those that helped with the VBS. It was incredible. And yes, I do. I get it all organized, and I'm worry about all of it, making sure everything's there, making sure I have everything in the box for each of the 4 places that everybody rotates. But I could do all that. But if I go down there by myself, it's not going to go off very good, because I can't be in 2 places at once. You can't do it without all of these people that have come and helped and been a part. And I don't think, of course, Rosanna and Isaac were there, the Friars, and they are not here today, but she and Letty ran the crafts. I never even walked over there because I knew she had it. I knew she knew what she was doing. I had the stuff there, and she had it. And so that is such a blessing for me to know that I can just walk away and it's all going to get taken care of so beautifully. And she did a great job. And one person I want to talk about is Maricela. She is almost getting to the age where she's a helper, and she was very muchly so a helper. And we talked about that a lot during our Bible school, that she was going to have to step up some, especially with the little ones, and she did. I saw her many times helping them find the scripture in their Bible, marking it, getting the sticky note, because during sticky scripture, we would take a sticky note and stick it next to our Bible verse scripture there. And I loved the way that she interacted with the kids and how she was such a big helper and knew what was going on, so I was really proud of her. And another thing I saw during VBS, I was kind of excited there wasn't a work project, because when you don't have a work project, you get men involved in VBS with the little children. And I'm just saying that is such a blessing. One person that we've seen grow is Isaac, Rosanna's husband, who I guess while they were dating, I maybe heard him say 2-3 words. I don't know. But anyway, he has just grown spiritually so much, closer to God, just being a godly husband and man and dad. And I'm so proud of Isaac, and just leading out, like coming to me and saying, we did have some rain. Was it Wednesday or Thursday? I can't remember. A couple of days, and it was really muddy. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got something for the little ones. And he says, I've got the big kids covered. I got you. And he led that game and did it. And I think he even led some during the youth stuff too. So I've been really proud. And just having the men around, so many of the children, like Letty said, we don't know where they came from. We don't know what their situation is. But many times it's having an absent father, or having someone, a godly man, that is there with them saying, no, those are tentacles, not legs, And so they don't have those men that are there to interact with them and talk with them and say, what's your favorite color, and all those things. So I really loved having those godly men there to interact with the children, which was really, really great. And then to be able to do VBS, and then for Michelle to get to minister to the moms is always a blessing, and I appreciate all her hard work. They made all kinds of scrubs and I don't know, lotions and potions, I'm thinking. So anyway, but it smelled really good when we go back to the cottage for sure. So anyway, again, thank y'all so much for being so generous, for allowing us to take this VBS. It's been a blessing for many years for me. Most of the time, I've been able to purchase stuff with our regular VBS and purchase just about a little bit more and be able to cover Stitch too, which is a great blessing for that. So, and thank y'all so very much. Who's next? Scott?
Just to give you a little window into what we did with youth. Over the last several years, we have figured out what's helpful for the youth who are at Stitch. When I say youth, I'm talking about middle school and high school. So we would do VBS with the little kids in the morning, and then we would do stuff with the youth in the evening. And we have figured out that there are a couple of things that they really like. They really like to sing together. And we just did a whole bunch of songs. We take guitars and we take drums and recruit musicians from their group to come play with us. And they love that, and they sing from their hearts, and they think that's fantastic. We play games with them. Angel and Melinda always have some goofy game, like you do, youth group kind of games and stuff. But what they really like is that we allow plenty of time to play dodgeball at the end of what we're doing. So we have 2 hours with them, and we spend half of that throwing dodgeballs at each other. And this is where it dawns on me every year, but I heard it in more conversations this year with kids saying, now what are you guys doing here? And I'll say, well, we're going to do these things. And what they're really asking is, why did you come? And what they have figured out is that we come because we want to be with you. We want to do this stuff with you. We want to do the stuff that you enjoying. We want to come and do it with you. And so us pelting each other with dodgeballs is like the most loving thing that they can think of. We came to do this with them. We want to be with you. Now let's go do fun stuff together. Let's be together. Let's put Jesus at the middle of the thing. But what they figured out is we just want to be with them. That's what we're doing. And that's my favorite thing this year about working with the youth, is them figuring out and us figuring out Let's just be together. We're coming because we want to be with you. I wanted to also brag on the team for just a second because there was some concern taking a smaller team. Are all the bases going to be covered and that sort of thing? And I lost that concern within the first hour of being there, because what I realized was every time I would turn around, I would think, oh, I want to make sure that this thing gets done. I would turn around and somebody on the team would already be doing it. And I would say, oh, after we do the craft thing, we need to make sure that we sweep up the stuff. And then I would go to find the broom, and one of these people would already have the broom, and they would already be doing it. And it was a team of people who came to serve, came to work, and came to pay attention to what can I do that would be helpful. And if you've ever worked with a group of people like that, it's just a blessing just to be around that group of people. I also want to just encourage you all as a church that there are, obviously you participate in terms of generosity, you participate in terms of praying for your team and all that sort of thing, but I want to encourage you also that this is a long game thing. When we first moved to Big Lake, Rosanna was in middle school, Angel was in high school, okay? Letty and I would have conversations how hard it is to be a single mom and raising these kids, and yet how committed she was to making sure that they came so that you people could invest in her kids, okay? And now we fast forward 10 years, and you see in all the pictures, okay, there's a legacy thing that happens here so that you have Letty and her kids and their spouses and her grandkids, okay? There's a legacy thing that happens. So do not, in the verses that we read from Hebrews, so that you do not grow weary and give up, okay? Keep investing in the kids of this church. Wednesday night is a real hassle sometimes, and it's loud and it's chaotic and all that stuff. But what you end up with is this. You end up with a group of people that you've invested in that begin to understand what it means to invest in other people, to take the gospel to other places, to love on other people's kids because you loved on them. So do not grow weary in doing good for the youth of this church. You see Micah Booth in that picture, same story, right? Brandy made sure that her kids came so that you people could invest in them and love on them. And it is We probably don't deserve any credit for Micah being there this summer, but honestly, you all invested in a kid who said, I want to do something with my life that matters for the cause of Christ. I want to invest in other people, and he's an intern there for the summer at South Texas Children's Home. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep investing in young people. Keep praying for them. Keep up the generosity and all that stuff, because this is a long game thing. It's not, did we see progress today and tomorrow and next week? It's what are they gonna look like 10 years from now? And then keep this kind of picture in your mind. What are they gonna look like 10 years from now? And this is what you end up with. So thank you, church, for being that kind of church.
Michelle, did you want to say anything? All right. She said, I'm crying, I don't want to say anything. A couple things as they go back, and then we'll wrap up our service. One of the things that I hope you saw from the pictures, and this is just a few of the pictures. I think Michelle said they sent like 500-600 pictures from all of us to her, and so if you wanted to go and sit and look at picture after picture after picture, you could do that for sure. But one of the things that I hope you picked up on was the camaraderie that we had with one another. Just the fun being together. We're all in the house, and we eat, and we have meals, and we have, everybody's got their sleeping quarters, and all of that, and it's just, we had a blast. We had a blast with each other, and so that was something that was great. I want to say the efficiency of our group. You saw the gym, us serving the meal there. What you don't see on that meal is that the air conditioner did not work. And it did not work all week. And so we were, not only were Tony and Isaac out there cooking the meals, we had to serve the meal. And in the gym, we didn't have any air conditioners. We had fans going around. Nobody said nothing. They just got in line and started serving hamburgers and drinks, and that's just the way that was going to be. And so the conditions weren't ideal, but it didn't matter. None of that mattered. We were here to serve, and the team just came with the best attitude that you can imagine. Then it made all of the difference in the world. And you see, that's our drink crew there. I want to say a little something about the shirts. There's an intention with the shirts every year, but this year in particular, faithful. That's the theme. We wanted to share that with them. But the school colors the shirt is the school colors, and the reason we didn't put anything on the front because oftentimes they'll have school color days. And well, when you got a campus full of kids and you're all trying to get them a particular shirt, that can be a problem. So we wanted to help them with that. So now they have a shirt they can wear whenever they have the school colors on it, and the faithful is the other color of theirs, and so it'd be an opportunity for that. And we left all the extras, and so it was the thoughtfulness that each group, Letty and Cindy, had with the meals. We had folks. When Angel said he always comes back expanded. That is the best way that I have ever heard that I have gained 400 pounds. I am expanded. And so, but we had tres leches cake, we had cinnamon rolls, we had sopapilla cheesecake, we had chocolate pie, we had banana pudding, and chicken enchilada. I mean, the reason I'm keeping track of all of this is because I am like Angel. I have expanded. But I thank the Lord for their wonderful, willing attitude. All of this takes place beforehand. Melissa ordering the supplies, making sure there's enough for them. Scott learning the kids' names, knowing what's going on, how many kids. I think this is the first year we had more youth than we did children. And so that's a changing thing at times. And they just did it, and it's great. And I want to echo just how proud I am of our team, of our church, going down there and just investing continually in there. Finish with one final story from the event of the whole week as we're going. One of the things that can be a challenge when you're there is having your eyes kind of opened and seeing the needs that are there, and wishing that you could fix that and fix that and fix that and fix that, and it's just endless. Whether you're talking about the physical buildings, whether you're talking about the kids that are in front of you, or the young people, and all that kind of stuff, and they get there and they're struggling to get that the air conditioner fixed. They got it fixed, by the way, on Friday, the day we were leaving. And so, but you see that, and for me it can be a struggle because I want those things fixed, and I don't want light bulbs to be out, and I don't want doors not to work, and all those kinds of things. That matters to me, and it's hard sometimes to do that. Well, we go to drop off some clothes at the commissary that you all had donated, which are hugely important for them, and we get there and. And I just asked the question. I don't know why, because I don't know if I ever asked. I said, "What kind of things do you need?" And she goes, "Well, let me show you." And so we go back, and she shows, and their commissary is the way they get their supplies to them, so that all the families don't have to go shopping to Sam's, all that kind of stuff. And we get there, and you see some shelves are just packed, and you're like, "Yes." And then other shelves of supplies. These are not wants. These are things they need, and so I'm like, oh man, what can we do? And I mentioned that when I get back, and so he's like, well, we got some extra, and we can do that. And just right in that exactly moment, because of your generosity, not only did we get to go on the trip, not only did we get to minister, VBS youth, moms, campus meal, all of that, we were able to, because of you investing in us, we can walk through a commissary that meets the needs and say, oh, there's a need. We can go that next day, fill up the car, bring all the things back, and drop it off to them. without worrying, oh man, we got it handled, taken care of because of that. And that has been, over these last 10 years, that has been how South Texas Children's Home, the mission trip, how this has gone. It's taken care of. Just go serve, go minister, don't worry about it. And that's a credit to you all and your continued support of this outreach. And so I cannot thank you enough. I extend the thanks of many of the house parents and the staff and the administration of South Texas Children's Home, they thank you so much for coming. And I had one tell me, he says, I don't know how you guys ended up here in South Texas, but man, we are sure glad you are here. And thank you for coming back year after year. So church, I extend that thanks to you. All right? Let's have a word of prayer. Ushers, I want you to come and prepare, if you would. I'll pray this morning for the offering, and then we will sing our doxology. And again, if you want to see way more of the pictures, you can certainly do that. But thank you so very, very much for allowing us to be a part